Ladies and gentlemen, pleased to welcome James Nakashima back in action at one heavy hitters against Saygid Izagakhmaev. It's been a year since we last saw you against Shinya, James. What have you been up to in that time, and how good is it to be back?
I've been up to just training hard and spending a lot of time with my family and just trying to reinvent some things, and it's been good. It's been really good, and it's really nice to be back.
Reinvention's an interesting concept. What have you been working on? What are you looking to reinvent?
I mean, just being undefeated and being one round away from being undefeated world champion, and then taking 2 losses in a row. I kind of had to step back and just get my confidence and kind of reflect on my game and my training and stuff. And I just switched a lot of things up. I switched my training up. Lab is still my base, but I reached out to all the resources around Phoenix, and I'm just training with the best of the best that Phoenix has to offer right now.
That was for a performance that you lost. That was a great performance against Abasov. I think you were up every round, right? Like you said. So how do you look back on that now? Because, yeah, as you put it, 1 round away from a world title in this sport, which is super cruel in that way. How do you process something like that?
Well, looking back on like that fight and like the few months after that fight, I was definitely totally rattled. That's why one of the reasons why I think I took that Aoki fight was just chasing my losses and just trying to act like that never happened. But I had to come to accept it. And now, to me, it's not that big of a deal. Like, it is what it is. Just the way I describe it, I was close. And like you said, that's the way that the sport and sports go sometimes. But I just, like, to me, I don't really think it's that big of a deal anymore. The Aoki fight is much more unacceptable than the Abasov fight.
Do you think the Aoki fight then it's a case of kind of jumping into it and, like you say, chasing your losses? Do you think you could have taken more time or been more considered or approached it differently? Like, if you fought Aoki on Friday, do you think we'd see something pretty different?
Yeah, I definitely do. I don't think I showed up at all for that fight. I don't think you'll ever see another performance like that again.
Are you here to stay at this weight class? You made that jump after the Abasov fight, right? Is this where you're happiest? Is this where you're strongest?
Yeah.
How much thought went into that? Is it something that you knew you'd been thinking about for a while, or you discussed with your coaches? Like, how did the decision for the jump came about?
When we first signed with One Championship, my coach and my manager and myself, and nobody knew how they did their the weights where you have to weigh in at a weight class above, but you have to be fully hydrated. So we didn't know that. And so by the time I accepted the fight, we had already accepted the fight, and I won, and then I kept winning. So we just stayed up there because we thought a title shot was right around the corner after the first win, and then after the second win, and after the Okami win, we knew it was coming. But it's just easy for me to get down to 170 totally hydrated, so it was a pretty easy decision.
You've been here for a little while now. I can't think, you're established at One Championship, but you came from LFA, you came from the US. What's been the big difference to you coming to compete at One, coming to compete out in Asia? Weight cutting's one of them, right? But what's been the biggest adapting period, do you think?
Well, this is world-class level. That's the big thing about the Aoki fight is you can't go into these fights if you're not ready. And Shinya Aoki is world-class, one of the best MMA fighters in the world. And you just go in with the mentality that I had, you're going to get smoked just like I did. So I think that just getting that competition against world-class athletes. My first opponent when One Championship was a beast. Another guy out of Eagles, Magomed Aliev, and Luis Santos and Okami, and the title fight and Aoki. I just think the experience then this guy, another Eagles guy, I think it's awesome. Like I love it. I think it just, you know, just keep getting better. And the experience is huge.
What do you make of this matchup? I mean, when you go through the guys you faced in one championship, it has been no walk in the park. It's just constant tests. And here's another one, you know. So what's your mentality going into this one as a competitor?
And it's been a year off, and like I said, I've made some changes, so I'm really excited. And I feel it. Like even just looking back on that Aoki fight, like I was just my spirit. You know, I had no spirit really going in. Really like I can feel it now. Like I'm ready to go. I'm excited. Like I'm just a competitor, big competitor at anything. So I'm I'm really excited, especially against a really tough guy. And Khabib's going to be in his corner, and my brother's going to be in my corner, and me and my brother have pretty much done this whole thing together. You know, we've traveled all over the world with this MMA stuff together. So it's I'm excited. This is what I live for: is this pressure and this competition.
You've made so much of your success in your MMA career by being a fantastic wrestler. And how much is the kind of Sambo style, the Dagestani style revered in America, where, you know, it's a lot of Greco-Roman, right? How much kind of respect do you put on what Khabib and his contemporaries have been able to do in MMA?
Oh, I think it's world class grappling, and I really believe in my grappling, and I believe in the American wrestler, and not even the American wrestler anymore. You know, I feel like I'm a true grappler. You know, I do go to world class jujitsu tournaments. You know, like I said, one thing that I switched up over this last year is I started training with Tanquinho Mendez on a weekly basis, and he's one of the greatest jujitsu guys of all time. So just really trying to hone in on my grappling and be able to compete with anybody in the world, whether it was Saygid or Khabib.
Do you think there's a bit of mystique around Saygid because of Khabib?
Yeah, yeah, I think that, but I no no question, he's a world class MMA fighter. He's a good guy.
Does that give you added impetus knowing to beat him, knowing that he's Khabib's main guy, that Khabib's never been to Singapore, he's flying out here, and also Khabib's never been defeated as a coach thus far?
No, not really. I'm just excited to compete again.
Uh, Saygid lost to Carlton Harris in UAE Warriors last year. Do you think maybe he's being overplayed, like he's kind of invincible, but he lost 2 fights ago?
No, I don't really buy into all the hype and stuff. Like he's, you know, I think he's good. Or I think he's a world class MMA fighter. I don't know. I really haven't I haven't read any articles or read much about him. I've watched a lot of film, and I know he is good, and I know his camp is really good. So it's just, you know, it's all pretty legit. Carlton Harris is really good. You know, he's making waves in the UFC.
Yes, he is. Yeah, that's true. How about this division in general? I mean, does it show that you guys aren't in the top five? Does that show the strength of the division right now?
Yeah, yeah, I think that's another reason why I wanted to come down here is I think that this is the best division in the world, you know, whether it's one championship with the UFC or Bellator. I think this is where it's at.
Are you a goal person? Have you set outside your goals for 22? If you got a trajectory plan, you know, beat Saygid, get the top five, and then how are you going to get to where you need to go?
Yeah, I am a goal person, but at also time, like I'm pretty like momentary person, and I'm still just trying to figure out what me and my brother are gonna do today, and you know, before our workout and after our workout. So try and just stay in the moment as much as I can. But I do have a big year. I don't want to lie. I have a lot of stuff coming up on this year. You know, number one is Saigid for sure. It's all I'm focused on. And then after that, me and my family, we're moving to Italy sometime this year, and we're gonna go train over at Petrosian's full time. But it's not just because of my training. You know, it's much more than that. I think just the whole experience of getting that culture for my family and my daughter. And it's been a goal of my partner's goal for, you know, her whole life. So we got a lot of stuff to take care of for that move and stuff. And it's a big year coming up.
That's fantastic. How cool. So are you going to be working with the Petrosians, like striking wise? Because they're pretty up there with the very best in the world. That sounds exciting.
Yeah. I mean, I spent a lot of time before the coronavirus out there with them. I met them through one championship. So yeah, it's an easy in. I'm going to get out there. It's going to be great.
That's awesome. Is it the fact that you beat Magomedov in 2018, the fact that you did so well against Abasov, that you know that your style can beat these guys with their kind of Russian Dagestani wrestling? Does that give you added confidence?
Yeah. But I'm not gonna lie, like I really like that's one thing about the Aoki fight. That's one thing I really want. Aoki, I respect Aoki a lot. I think he's a great MMA fighter. I want that fight back. I really believe that I'm one of the best grapplers in the world, you know, best MMA fighters in the world. So yeah, it gives me a little bit of confidence already beating an eagle and beating, you know, grappling Abasov up a little bit. But I I have all the confidence in the world myself.
He's not getting any younger, Aoki, but I think it would be wonderful to see you have another crack at him. Is that something that you'll ask for once you've got this win?
Yeah, maybe. Like I said, I'm still trying to figure out what me and Joey are going to do today. But yeah, I, uh, I like that.
Are you surprised at how fantastic he's been? He's kind of had a renaissance in his, you know, around this age of 40. Like he's looking as good as he's looked, Aoki, and put this run together.
Yeah, I like the shirt that he was wearing the week before he fought me. It was something like, what was it, Joey? It was like age is just a number. I I don't know, but he knows. He knows where his age is at, and he knows he's doing really well. So yeah, I'm glad to see it too. He's a really respectful guy, and he's a good guy. So I like to see that.
I mean, if you look at his ranking third, that would kind of be two birds with one stone, right? If you fought him next, you'd be in the top three, and you'd have kind of put that one to bed, right? So is that the perfect next fight for you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, James. I'm glad we got this done. Thank you, Tammy, as well for helping hook this up. Good luck. Always good to speak to you.
Thanks, Andrew. Thanks for doing it.